Imagine going for a gentle stroll, but now you're in pain. The impact of your feet touching the floor has left your joints bleeding. You trip and cut your knee. It takes days for the bleeding to stop. This is life with haemophilia. People with the disease are missing a crucial component of the blood that means it struggles to clot. For years, patients have relied on injections of clotting proteins, such as factor VIII, every other day. But now doctors think gene therapy could transform people's lives. I called Sean Busby while he was at work as an engineer to ask what it was like growing up with haemophilia.
You just felt like your wings were clipped, to be honest with you, growing up. For example, I used to get a lot of bleeds in my ankles and used to swell up, and I never used to walk, so I used to have to go in a wheelchair. It was hard, especially watching your friends at school, college, all playing football and having fun, being normal, and you're stuck in a wheelchair, you know, ankles swelling up and not being able to walk. I had to go to hospital more or less 3-4 times a week. You just have to have more injections just to try and live a normal life.
So this trial that you've been on, what difference has that made?
It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders. I feel like more alive. I mean, it's difficult to explain it, but it feels like I'm a well-oiled machine, and I just feel like I can live a normal life now.
Do you feel indestructible now, Sean?
I don't want to say just that, but mentally, yes.
For somebody that's had to give themselves an injection every other day to stop bleeding for essentially a lifetime, to have a once given treatment and then for that to stop is going to be amazing.
Professor John Pasi has led trials of a new gene therapy at Barts and the London School of Medicine and Dentistry. They show the benefits could last for years.
This new approach is, rather than giving the missing protein, we're giving the blueprint so that the body can make the protein. So we've got a copy of the factor VIII gene and we've put it into a tiny virus that normally does not cause any infection in man. That virus with the blueprint gene inside it is then given as an injection and it finds its way naturally to the liver.
And is it the liver then that's wrong in haemophilia?
It's not the liver, it's the instructions that the liver has to make the protein. The blueprint, the instructions don't exist in patients with haemophilia, so the liver cells can't make the protein. When we give the right instructions, the gene that we've transferred, the blueprint, is there so the liver can make the protein, make factor VIII, and put that into the circulation so that it can do the work it needs to do to stop the blood clotting.
So you're kind of using a virus to infect the human body but with genetic instructions for making proteins.
That's absolutely right. It's a vehicle to get the genetic material into the liver, which is where we want it.
Okay, so now the patients have got the correct clotting factors in their blood should clot normally. Do we know that everything's normal?
We measure how much clotting factor we've expressed, and we can see that we can express really good levels so that their blood will clot normally, or it may not be absolutely normal, but it's so much better than it ever was, and it's sufficient to essentially stop bleeding massively.
And is everyone off those injections every other day now?
For all the patients that we've put in this study so far, all of them have stopped giving regular injections.
It sounds very permanent, doesn't it, gene therapy? But do we know that this could last a lifetime, or could it fade away?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the $64 million question, as they say. How long is this going to last? We hope that it's a long-term treatment. We want it to be a long-term treatment, and we're encouraged by the data. What we've done is follow it over 3 years. Other gene therapy treatments have been followed for up to 8 years and are still working. So we're very optimistic that these are going to be really long-term treatments. But at the end of the day, in truth, only way we're going to find this is by watching our patients and seeing how long it does last.
I have this nagging suspicion this is going to be really expensive.
Yeah, that's one of the problems that we perceive as treaters, is that this could be hugely expensive, and nobody's come up with a price at the moment for it. But it's essentially a once and done treatment if it works. As treaters and as doctors, we're more interested in why the population that we can use it in might be more restricted rather than the cost, because some people won't be able to have this treatment because they've already seen the virus that we use.
You're saying you can be immune to that already?
You can be. It's a virus that's very common in the population. Some of us have seen it before and developed antibodies. If that happens, then you can't use the virus.
Let's throw a word at you that I'm sure you'll be uncomfortable with. Is this a cure for haemophilia?
Yeah, that I am uncomfortable with that, because cure embodies a lot of different things. This is a hugely transformational treatment which will change people's quality of life massively. It's been the holy grail of haemophilia treatment for years.
John Pasi, and my thanks to Sean earlier.